Hello guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the crypto live session with Crypto with 𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀. And before I start, just a short disclaimer: past performance has a guaranteed future result. Whatever buying, selling recommendation for tonight is your due diligence before investing into any kind of asset. Okay, so let's get started here. So if you can see my screen, kindly type 1 in the chat box. All right, okay, so what to expect for this week crypto market outlook? Okay, so it's the dip. So are we still buying the dip, or is the bottom is in? That is the most important thing. Or should we go lower to retest even more, probably below 100K? So I think we have already breached around 98, 98.9. And now it is creeping back up around 101K. Okay. So a lot of uncertainty in the market. A lot of people are calling the market to be in a bear market situation right now. Very bearish right now. Sentiment is bearish. Okay, everywhere, not only here, but of course in Twitter as well. There are a lot of calling it that Bitcoin has already topped. Okay, but I believe there's still more room to go. And most of the time for Bitcoin, it usually peak first. So Bitcoin, most likely, the run-up is already peaked. Most likely, if there's any chance to go back up again, maybe you'll create another global high. Maybe you'll top up somewhere around 120,000 plus. Then maybe you should see another breakdown again. So I think for Ethereum and Alt still have more room. Okay, but of course, patience again most likely to be tested. And I think the quantitative tightening will be end by December this month, next month. 1st of December, if not mistaken, that the Federal Reserve want to end QT. So that will be a transitioning period. Okay, so yeah, what to expect here? So Bitcoin bounced nearly 100,000. Okay, while the other alts are actually having a bloodbath or drop even more. Okay, liquidations also happening. Okay, with long traders suffering the majority of losses. So that's the thing about leverage trading. So you want to trade, this is the consequences, okay, of leverage trading. Okay, all right. So yeah, I think these are probably to check out those weekends. Okay, especially those people who likes to leverage trade. And of course, for those people who are holding short term. So short term holders also getting wiped out. Selling at a loss. Okay, forced selling, which also create short sellers, or they are being pressured to sell, which also push the market down even more. Okay, with their contribution of selling. Okay, so large clusters of long liquidation can signal capitulation and potential short-term bottom. Then while heavy short wipeouts may precede local tops as momentum flips. So this is the contribution of pressure, selling pressure. Okay, right? So the wipeout marks one of the largest deleveraging events since September. Okay, right? So yeah, I think overall this is probably short term. I think this is also one of the toughest bull market comparing to all the previous cycle that I've been through. This is one of the toughest, of course, huge challenge as well to overcome this market volatility. Okay, so 100,000 is the psychological level that it needs to maintain. Because if it doesn't, then I think most likely it will trigger. Next will be 93 to 95,000. Okay, so 93 to 95,000, that's where most likely the price to hit below. Okay, for this setup here. Okay, so that is the latest news, but nonetheless, I think this is short term. And of course, if you are still sitting on the sideline, if you are underexposed on your position, maybe this is the best time to add. But you have already used up all your dry powder. The best thing is to sit out, okay, instead of selling at these levels, okay, which also not a good idea. Okay, or probably if you have overexposed on the position, or probably your outs may not perform since last two cycles. That's why you have to make a decision whether to cut or to leave. And then next, okay, so again, this is by Arthur Hayes, okay, another expert analyst here, okay, a former BitMEX CEO. So mentioning what here? Okay, so crypto is still not top yet. You still haven't seen the top. Okay, and then mentioning here, stealth QE is near. Quantitative easing. Keyword here is quantitative easing. So Federal Reserve will pivot for QT, which is quantitative tightening, moving to quantitative easing. So that's where they will start owning the printer to start printing more money. which will stimulate back the economy, which means boosting more confidence in the market. People will spend more. Okay, dollar will devalue, stocks, crypto, other asset class will appreciate when this thing happens. Okay, so whenever this QE happens, transitioning from QT to QE, that's where alts and the crypto market usually tends to rally. So that's why a lot of people say is the bull market over. Most likely this could be an extended cycle, most likely for Q1 2026 because of the transitioning to QE. Okay, and of course the Federal Reserve also announced it quite late. Okay, because the timing was totally different when they announced the QE. If you compare from the COVID period, they announced somewhere around second half of the year. So now Federal Reserve have mentioned transitioning, okay, by December, which is end of the year. So which is why probably the market cycle might most likely extended due to this factor. Okay, so yeah, federal stealth QE will pump crypto, which I believe so. Okay, so that is also another conviction why I'm still here, why we are still waiting for this thing to happen. Okay, all right. So yeah, I think overall, if you look at the sentiment, right now market is really pricing heavily for this event to happen. So when the Federal Reserve have already mentioned that December they want to end QT, okay, and then of course his tone is hawkish, mentioning that December there might not be a rate cut, so which is not good for the market. So what happened? Market went down. Market went down. Then now we are seeing also another massive effect, negative effect on the price of crypto as well. Okay, so yeah, I think overall this is what to expect. Okay, all right. So yeah, overall I think you just need to survive. That is the most important thing. Survive, and then of course don't leverage, don't trade. Okay, that's why I'm saying. Okay, if you want to trade, there's always a strategy. Use Airdrop like 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀, like Hyperliquid. Okay, you trade for airdrops, not trade for profits. So that is the another strategy. Okay, all right. So what does it mean for the crypto market for the QE to happen? Okay, so yeah, if you look here, right, the result is functionally similar from a liquidity standpoint. Okay, so yeah, credit distributed by the Fed against treasuries still increases spendable dollars in the system to finance government borrowing. Okay, and then here this will buy some time, but eventually the exponential expansion of treasury debt issuance will force the repeated use of the SRF. Okay, so yeah, so the Federal Reserve will definitely most likely will be selling off their bonds. Okay, all right. Then of course, most likely the printer will start printing again. Okay, and then what else here? As SRF balance grow, the amount of fiat dollars in the world expands as well. And then this phenomenon will reignite the Bitcoin boom, which happens last cycle, or 2020 cycle, where the COVID period happens. That's where the Fed had no choice but to transition to MQT and to move QE as soon as possible. So they print more money, right, to stimulate back the economy. Then what happened? You see the after effect, price of crypto went parabolic. Okay, that was the best out season that we have during the last cycle as well. Okay, so yeah, I think this is what to expect. Okay, so it's all about transitioning, right? The game here is all about QE. Okay, we already got a confirmation, which is December 1st. That is only ending the QT. So it will take some time to transition to QE. So give them weeks or maybe max a month, and then probably by Q1 of 2026, right? That's where your alts probably will stand a chance to continue to recover or probably to hit a new all-time high again, especially for Ethereum as well. So yeah, for the market to go down now, most likely to price in. And then moving on next. Okay, so we talk about prediction market. Okay, I think right now the biggest narrative right now is prediction market. So we've seen the likes of poly market, okay, where you can be able to predict a certain event, okay, like a sports event, like who will win, like Liverpool versus Real Madrid. So you can choose which side you want to place, whether Liverpool win or Real Madrid win. So yeah, there are many other events as well that you can be able to place your prediction. Okay, we have seen Limitless also have already launched on the TGE event. And I think a lot of investors also make huge by going into the pre-sale. Okay, so more and more prediction markets come. And of course, this 𝗶𝗺𝗺𝗀𝘀, I think right now they are preparing to launch their own prediction market contract. Okay, I think they're launching in their own exchange, if I'm not mistaken, their Gemini exchange. Okay, so Gemini aims to remain competitive in crypto space, which is to implement the prediction market. So you can see very, very important is following the narrative. Okay, because if you are out of the narrative, that's where you'll be in danger, especially in crypto. Look what happened to Polkadot. Look what happened to all those last cycle coin. So no activity, right? So they did not follow the narrative and they did not plan. And what happened? The project eventually died off. Community also moved on to another project. So you don't want to be left out, especially in this space. Okay. All right. So that's what Gemini is doing. Okay. So if Gemini move forward with its plan, the company can compete against key players such as trading exchange, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀, okay, which is already registered with the US derivatives regulator, and Poly Market, right? Already mentioned to you, Poly Market right now is the biggest share for prediction market. They are one of the pioneer, okay, and then following up by Limitless. So there are more actually now. Now we have what Opinion Maps also start to come out with prediction market as well. Okay, so yeah, I think for all those type of projects like this, up to you. Maybe you might want to try. Okay, you open two accounts, you do one buy, one sell. Okay, and you try to farm the points if you want. Okay, so yeah, I think there are a lot of opportunities still here for crypto. Okay, all right. So yeah, that's the thing here for Gemini. Then moving on next. So more news on-chain. Okay, so what to expect for on-chain? Okay, so you can see here, is the bull market over? That's the most important thing. Okay, is the crypto bull market over? Okay, so this is the breakdown here. This is for 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀. Okay, so we have also experienced the FTX collapse since 2022 as well. We have seen the Terra Luna collapse as well. Okay, which adds more pain, okay, to investors like us, and of course that's where the bear market happened. So what are the scenarios here for the crypto market or the crypto bull run to be over? So the first thing we're going to look at is the bearish scenario. First thing here is that the OGs of Bitcoin or the old timers, okay, have been selling frequently because of the 4-year cycle. Then looking at ETF inflows, okay, which is negative inflow. Okay, then alts have been underperforming against BTC for the entire cycle. Okay, which you can already experience right now. So if your alts cannot able to perform against Bitcoin, that could be a huge concern. Okay, so this is probably the number one reason why sentiment feels dire online. And then what happened here? 10 out of 10 liquidation event did a lot of damage. Okay, which is leverage trading, people who leverage. Okay, so yeah, because of it kind of exposed the true liquidity of many altcoins. Right, underperformance versus equity have been in the nail of the coffin. And then a lot of new money stopped trading instead of, again, other alts, or look at the rise of the all stocks trading influences. So that's where the shift of tension have moved. Now for the bullish case here, okay, we look at Bitcoin on a higher time frame perspective. Okay, looking at the moving average, 50-day moving average versus 200-day moving average. Okay, have been a buy signals for the bull market to be set. Then, of course, no true euphoria-based signals that present in prior cycles. And then here, quantitative tightening is ending, right? Paving the way for QE. This is the one. And this will happen on 1st December. So 1st December, QT will end. That will pave way for QE. This is what we want. Okay, so roughly about less than 30 days from now. Okay, so we have to stick on. We have to survive. Okay, so business cycle is still going. No clear top on equities. BTC has historically re-correlated with equities after periods of squeeze. And then, of course, interest rate, which is the rate cut by the Federal Reserve, coming down, right? They have already cut interest rate last month. another 0.25%. So now we're going to see whether will they cut another 0.25% for December, because Jerome Powell have mentioned it is still on the air. So uncertain, right? Still deciding whether they want to cut. So that's why his tone is hawkish and the market tanked with the hawkish tone. Okay, so altcoin market clearly isn't what it used to be. Let's not pretend, okay? But that doesn't mean there are opportunities to make. So like I said, don't be disencouraged from this sentiment. But in crypto, there are a lot of opportunities. Okay, trading, for airdrops, okay, prediction market, we have AI agent. Right, you talk about crypto, there's so many categories that you can be able to make money from. Right? So not only on one sector, there are many. You just need to know your winners. You need to know where's the narrative is heading. Okay. All right. So on buying, if you believe there'll be another big rally, okay, only buy stuff now if you're willing to be underwater. If your conviction is high on that project, then maybe you might want to add some exposure. If not, don't simply throw in your USDT or your stables for that particular point. Okay. Make sure there's a clear invalidation so you at least limit risk. Okay. So all this will come into play. Why? It's because we're already ending. We're already at Q4 of the year. So the risk gets higher, the reward gets lesser. Okay, so that's the thing that you have to take note. Now, if your altcoin has broken its higher time frame level, nothing wrong with waiting for a confirmed reclaim. Paying a premium for a reclaim in these conditions may be worth it. So that's the thing. A lot of people like to FOMO, buying at the peak or at the top instead of waiting. Okay, and then using dollar cost average, averaging out your position instead of buying one lump sum from your budget. So best ROI is remaining curious, staying engaged, and not getting complacent despite conditions being tough. Again, like I mentioned, never be complacent on your portfolio. Even though the market is down, a lot of people tend to forget it, or probably they're not being bothered. Knowingly they should cut on one of their altcoins, but they did not do so. What happened? We continue to hold, and the altcoins went down all the way to 99%. Okay, so you don't want that to happen, especially if you're coming in from last cycle and bringing in with this new cycle. So you have to do better than the last cycle. Okay, you cannot bring in with the same mindset from last cycle into this new cycle. Okay, because if not, then you will never learn and you will never make money. Okay, so there will be more opportunities, more 10x points. Okay, all right. So once the 1st December QT to end, most likely might see some movement, some bullish movement for altcoin sector especially. All right. So yeah, then of course moving on next. Okay, what's happening right now? Okay, so we can see here. Okay, relating to altcoins. Okay, so there hasn't been a great reason for holding that, according to 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀. Okay, so I think we're mentioning more on the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, and of course, Ethereum against Bitcoin, alts against Bitcoin especially. So the only way alts rally against Bitcoin, okay, if Bitcoin rallies to a new all-time high first. So it needs to hit more than 126,000 in order for alts to rally. So instead of folding a basket of alts and hoping for altcoin season, okay, you should be holding Bitcoin. Okay, because I think a lot of people getting carried away for this cycle alone, especially very, very tough. No one will expect. A lot of you guys are holding, I think, maybe 90 to 99%, mostly on altcoins rather than BTC. So if BTC rallies to new all-time high, okay, you could then assess whether a rotation to alts will come after that, right? Okay, so if the cycle top for BTC is in, then you will have at least save yourself the pain of buying alts, right? So that is the key here, to reduce the volatility, okay, on your portfolio. Very, very important. So that's why most of you, when you buy altcoins, the volatility gets high and it gets overwhelming. So when you get a drawdown, maybe about 70–80%, that's where you feel, maybe you should cut, or probably you can't take it anymore because of the drawdown. But by adding Bitcoin itself, also most likely to at least reduce the volatility on the portfolio. Having a mixture, having a balance. Okay, so yeah, base case for alt against Bitcoin pair, okay, is that they drop about 30% over the coming weeks. Okay, so yeah, that is the setup right now. Expectation is quite high for us to continue to hit a new low, okay, before we see the bottom. So probably that will be December for alts. Then moving on next to airdrop. Okay, so for those of you who've been doing T5, so T5 is actually a bridge very similar to Jumper. So maybe like Onela or Young have been bridging. Very similar, but again, I think this one that TGE is now live. So price is somewhere around 70 cents. But again, I think this airdrop is vested. So I think they only release about 50% of your allocation. Okay, and then the remaining will be vested. Okay, for T protocol, T5. So T5 is actually a DEX bridge. Okay, so we'll be swapping or bridging using this, where you might want to check this, right? Then of course you can stick as well. Then next, Kite Network, Kite Foundation. Now you can be able to check your airdrop, okay, coming in from Kite. So I think Kite been doing for many months, but unfortunately some of us also do not eligible. Some get a very low amount, okay, 37, okay, not eligible. All right, so I think I only gotten about 21 Kite. Okay, so yeah, I think again the allocation has been quite disappointed, especially for people who have been testing this system. Okay, and then again another disappointment, but again we have to move on because I think testnet is also part of experience. Okay, so yeah, we are transacting, we are doing the experience. Anything comes in this. Okay, so gain the experience, then of course you can buy it on the new as well. So yeah, that is Kite. And then moving on next, coming in from MMT Finance, which is Momentum. So Momentum is actually a DEX under 𝗧𝗶𝗺 network. Okay, and they've already launched the airdrop. Okay, this is wave 1. Okay, so you can be able to check the drop if you are doing this Momentum. So I think Momentum launch was pretty good. Okay, I think a lot of people been here on the IDO sale as well. Okay, the price as well also have hit, I think, about 7 times from the pre-sale. Okay, so yeah, I think we launched on major exchanges, Binance, Coupon, okay, and many more for Momentum. So these are under 𝗧𝗶𝗺 project. Okay. Okay, next here coming in from Espresso. So the checker or eligibility info. Okay. Airdrop will be distributed to community members from over 30 projects. So far, 5 out of 30 projects have been built. Okay. So all this, for those of you who have been doing Hyperlink top users, cross-bridge users, Larry Chain, POAP holders, FT, I believe, will be most likely qualifying for this airdrop for Espresso. Okay, so yeah, I think a lot of opportunities, but you can't be farming everything, right? Okay, and then next we see here the bull market indicator. So again, we are still at a hodl position, 100%. So none of it has hit yet. Okay, distance to hit 3.28. Okay, we can see the percentage here. So far, how many here? Bitcoin dominance. Okay, 60% going to hit 65. Bitcoin long-term holder supply. Look at that, already 89.5. Okay, Bitcoin short-term holder supply almost reaching 2%. So yeah, I think they haven't hit yet, but almost hit. See some of them about to hit. Right, dominance, long-term holder, short-term holder. Okay, what else is coming next? Bitcoin trend indicator as well. Okay, so that is the signal. Okay, and then moving on next. Coin market cap. So we are around 3.42 trillion. So Bitcoin is around 102.6. We look at Ethereum, is now at 3.3. Okay, so today's gainer, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀. So it's a layer 2 privacy point. Okay, so currently up about 124% last 7 days. The Plasma as well, stable point company, 22%. SPX is 960%. Humanity protocol up about 24.8. Okay, so yeah, I think overall most of them are short-term recovery. So we're going to see later on again for those alts. This is 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀, especially. Okay, so let's move here to the technical side. So if you have any question, feel free to put in the chat box or answer it later on. Look at the dominance first. So dominance, we can see here the money time frame. Okay, monthly time frame, what's happening now? Price break below the middle band, go back for that, do entry, sell. So it's coming back here to retest here again for the dominance. Okay. So dominance most likely to breach higher, 61.97. Then most likely to test here at 61. So that is the level there. Look at weekly. Now weekly also you can see already. Price about to break higher, not the middle. Okay. Then most likely here to break this level of resistance, then this level of support, and then most likely to break higher. So or else we rejected on the middle band here, and then continue to break down to test back here again to 8%. 400. Daily, what's happening? What can you see here, daily? Here, extreme sell. Here also for extreme sell. So probably there could be a chance, maybe double extreme sell, most likely to push back the price back down for dominance. Okay, so we have already seen really what's happening for the daily time frame. Maybe it could continue to break down due to this extreme sell support. Okay, H4 also we can see higher highs, higher lows, higher low, lower high compared to this high. Price rejected at the top, maybe break down. So maybe H4 might break lower due to that for dominance. Okay, watch out for daily. 2 double extreme sell maybe might break down. So yeah. Then Ethereum against Bitcoin. What do we see here? Look at monthly. Okay, you can see here descending and then break, right? Change of direction from sell to buy, coming back one more round for another retest. So where is this retest that we're going to see? Will be here, 003.48. Okay, it needs to maintain. If not, then we're going to see this level next. 002.533. Look at weekly now. So the weekly time frame, price already broke below the middle band, but this wick is still forming. This candle is still forming. So we're going to see whether can it able to maintain or to break up for this week at 003.449. Okay, because I think this level also will act as support, this level here, and then this level here as well. Okay, so you're going to play around this level. So hopefully we can able to consolidate and then continue to break higher for each. Look at daily now, break below the lower BB, momentum sell. So it's already downtrend now for Ethereum against. So a short-term reversal most likely to trade back here. Okay, retest on the sell zone, then maybe it might break lower, or probably we might continue higher or to retest the middle band. Okay, for it against. Now we go on next to BTC, 102.6. 102.6, and then of course we look here, you can see already what's happening now. So the low was at 98.9. It went all the way there. Look here, 102.7, right, is the level that needs to be deep. Then we look at this level here as well, 96.9. So far, okay, again, it's still creating fire highs, fire lows, highs. Still uptrend, right, on Monday. Still above the middle band. Look at weekly. So weekly, the task, it needs to break, it needs to at least close above the lower BB. Because we close below, that's where the danger is. Okay, that's where the danger is. And then you might want to see also of this level here, 101K, to maintain that level of support. Okay, very crucial then because we have all these levels to get tested, 97, then the 18K. Okay, so hopefully we can able to see some consolidation for the weekly time frame. Okay, then maybe at least to reclaim back here, to climb back here at 1.5. That is what I want to see. Okay, and then on daily time frame, what's happening for momentum sell? So a reversal candle is formed on the daily time frame, maybe okay, at least to reclaim back all this level here on the resistance at 106.5. Okay, 106.5 most likely will be the next level to next. Then we're going to see can it able to breach. If yes, middle band next at somewhere around 109.1 or 110. Okay, so I think you're going to take a time. For daily, you will create a reversal candle, test consolidation, then slowly break towards the upside. So that could be the case there for BTC. Okay, H4 momentum sell back from the entry sell. So a bit concerning that can be able to continue to test all the way here, 105.7. Okay, for the H4 time frame. Okay, so it needs to really quickly do it, not I think more danger. Okay, look at Ethereum now. Look at Monday. Okay, look at Monday now. So momentum pullback, and we see this level here. 3758. Okay, so 3758 is the level, right? Needs to maintain. Then, of course, we tested on the middle band. 3113. Slightly rebounds. So, yeah, I think very crucial now. Okay, can it able to maintain this level support and continue to break above 3758? We look at weekly now. What's weekly? We squeeze on weekly. So probably Monday buy to sell. Could be a chance there. Okay, already break below the middle band. So maybe it could range around this level. And then continue back probably to retest here at 4174. Okay, but I think it's going to take a long recovery. Okay? Long recovery. Look at daily momentum sell. So a pullback maybe to give you around this sell here at 3663. Okay, for ETH. Then look at H4, momentum sell, pullback with the retreat sell, still downtrend. So it needs to continue higher, break above middle band, 3573. Okay, for Ethereum. Now moving on next to the altcoins. Look at 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘁. 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘁. This one. See. Oh, new all-time high. Look at that. So if you look here, it's down. 27. 27 was the high here. Then 30 cents. So now we are at 7 cents. So the low was at what? How many? 0.06. Wow. How many times it went up? 11x. 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀. 11x. Again, 11 times from there. Look at weekly now. What happened? Price consolidation, break. So now we're going to see this level, right, to retest. This is the resistance at 0.07659 for 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀. Then it continued to reach higher. I want to see this level next at 0.11. Look at daily. Descending, break. So we can see already the reversal is about to happen towards the bullish side. Okay, previous resistance now turned into support at 0.0686 for 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀. Okay, so that is 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀. Maybe you might want to accumulate if you want. Okay, then we look at another one at Zcash, isn't it? Zcash. Zcash also, I think, very hard also. 456. Now Zcash, look at that. This is like how long ago this coin, you can see. Since 2019. 2019 they launched and they created a new all-time high. How many times from here? 2025 April. How many times? 21x. 21 times since April. Okay, so the high was how much here? 485.03 for Zcash. This was the last resistance, 32 support. So the last peak was when? 2021. Right, so now it's creating a new all-time high for Zcash because it's a privacy coin. Okay, and then look here, this was the last mountain support at 260. So where does this thing goes, man? This is a new all-time high. Okay, so everything is trending up. It's also trending up. Okay, look at weekly now. So we take this high to the low. Okay, we take this high to the low here. Then we measure, what's the next? 702 will be next for Zcash. Again, this thing is going to pay out. Next golden ratio. The new price discovery will be around 702. Okay, so that is Zcash for you. Okay, then moving on next. Okay, so yeah, you can see rental as well. Rental also went up 20. So, okay, so you can see here, nice W pattern form. Price did all-time high, right? How much here? 2.87. Finally break down. So it needs to reconfirm. Wow, look at the golden ratio here, 2.8. Mark last time. Really went all the way there and then break down. Okay, right? So yeah, if you look here, this was current resistance now, 1.76. Current support is here, 131. Again, 131 or even this level as well, 126. Okay, so yeah, I think overall now we see a huge pump. Now come back down to test this support. Should we see this level to maintain, or else next one will be middle band. Okay, 93 cents. Okay, price did an extreme sell, breaking down on the middle band. So we're going to see whether or not can we able to reclaim back above. Okay, then maybe to close above here, around 1.29 for mental. Okay, so yeah, Bonilla keep asking what's the next coin. So these are the coins that I can be able to share. So yeah, Zcash, then ZK these are all those high conviction play. Maybe you might want to cash on the rebound or the re-entry bar if you want. Then mental as well. So mental momentum sell, reversal candle is done. Test maybe might come back to test here around 1.36. Or probably we break lower again around 93 cents for mental. Okay. All right. Then what else? Momentum. MMT, right? So MMT also went up quite hugely. So this is one. So it went up to 4.5. And now it's at 95 cents. Okay. 95 cents. So recently just launched. So yeah, I think it launched yesterday. 4th November, around 8. Okay. So yeah, I think this was a huge launch from 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀. Okay, it's a DEX under 𝗧𝗶. So I think a lot of people have been making money on the IDO or the pre-sale. That's why they are massive sellers. Okay, so better to wait for consolidation. So next support will be here at 71 cents. Then of course giving you somewhere around will be here at 32 cents. Okay, so I think it's coming back down. So yeah, that is the case for new points that have just recently gone. So you might want to wait. Okay, we look at